Do a funny intro, man. Fuck. Look at this Bingus. If you want to see more of this Bingus, keep watching. And also, I'm going to be doing a tank tier list. Bingus. Oh, wait. Let me redo it. Okay, guys. I wasn't recording. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to be doing a tier list of tanks. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just trying to criticize the game a bit and give you my estimate of which tanks are strong. Also, here's a Bingus. I'm not going to be rating tanks compared to other rows. I'll be comparing tanks to themselves. I think it's a little bit difficult to say which tanks are the best and which are the worst. I'm not entirely sure about all of this, so take it with a grain of salt, but I will try my best to tell you my personal opinion of each tank and how well they fare. I'll try to keep the yap to a minimum. We're gonna start with Doomfist. I think Doomfist got more shields. He doesn't benefit from armor. Also, he has a hard time a lot of the time dealing with CC, so he doesn't have much utility, right? I think overall in this patch, he didn't get too many crazy things, but I still think that if you're a good Doom, you can probably get a lot of value. I believe that Doomfist probably struggles a bit against Malga, but I think also that he's pretty good against Queen a lot of the times. But again, it's a really difficult hero to play, so in the hands of the general public, I think he's a good hero, probably a great hero if you're really good. So I think he's good. I think he's decent. I think maybe great, but like again, I don't want to put him on great because I just know that a lot of people probably suck at him and they're gonna play him and they'll have a horrible time. So I don't think he's that good. I think it's like a character that you can just pick up and start carrying with. I think it's a little bit rough. That's why I'm putting him in good. I'm not putting him in great exactly because I think most people will struggle. But next up we have D.Va. With D.Va, they buffed the Matrix duration. So now D.Va has an insane duration on her Matrix, and I think she's really strong. But I don't think she's meta. I think she struggles a lot in a lot of situations because she basically doesn't have an ult. Her D.Va bomb is not a good ult. It gives her a second life. But if you're good at the game, you can punish her a lot of the times. And it's really hard to use it aggressively. Because if you do, especially in high elos, you just die. Because they push you. That is why a lot of people use Winston instead of D.Va in pro play. Because Winston ult is one of the best in the game. Plus, the bubble is really good. D.Va can matrix, damage projectiles. But she can't deal with beams and she can do with CC. But it really depends, right? And it's only one direction. Bubble does it everywhere. I think D.Va is probably good in ranked. And she is a hard counter to characters like Malga right now. Plus, she has a lot of armor, so she gets a lot of benefit. Oh, they also buffed her micro missiles, so that's a really good buff. So I think the micro missiles buff allows her to insta-kill squishies super fast. Matched with her 3.5 matrix, which feels infinite, I think it makes her probably really good. I think she's amazing right now. I don't think she is meta. I think she's S tier. But it might be subject to change. I think in ranked she might be amazing. I think in pro play she might be amazing. I think actually I don't know if she is amazing that often, to be honest. And you know what? I'm gonna do something controversial. I'm gonna put her on great because, and I'll just do this right here, because Zarya is amazing. Because Zarya can just destroy D.Va. Plus D.Va loses to a lot of rush comps. Plus you can just play Winston instead of D.Va. So I think the changes to D.Va are really good, but I think the changes to Zarya are much better. And she's basically a buffed up version of her initial release in Season 1 of Overwatch 2. So her bubble duration and her bubble cooldown is so low. Her duration is so long. She can just chain bubbles infinitely. It almost feels like she always has a bubble. So I played against quite a few Zaryas. And I think she's a huge pop stomper right now, and she feels a little bit too oppressive. I think D.Va also feels oppressive, but I don't think D.Va is that broken, purely because her ult is really bad. But let me get into Zarya now. I think over the seasons, they kept buffing Zarya, and her ult is really good nowadays because the range is so much bigger. So it catches people from everywhere. Plus, she is a really big DPS, right? And not to mention, they buffed her 2 bubbles, take more damage, she gains more energy, the rate and the cooldown is lower, right? Or the duration is longer. I think the cooldown is lower. I think Zarya in ranked is really good, and it's really annoying to deal with her. She can bubble her teammates, she can bubble herself, she can stay on the push bot and just beam anyone that gets closer. There's a lot of, I think if you're a good Zarya, you can get a lot of value, right? I think you can get a lot of value if you're a good Zarya player. And you can also deal with Queen. a lot of the times because Queen ult, the anti gets cleansed by the bubbles. So speaking of Queen, I think Queen is really strong right now. Is she meta is the question. I think she's probably amazing with Zarya. She feels really oppressive and unkillable most of the time because they increase how much she heals. But I think characters like Zarya probably can deal with Queen, which means that even though she's really good in ranked and solo queue, will probably still struggle in a team environment, maybe. And she gets a lot more overhealth now. So I think if you're a really good Queen player and you just queue up right now and you just destroy lobbies, you're gonna have a good time. But I think she can still struggle a lot against full rush comps. I have had some trouble dealing with like a Ram or a Rein rush, especially with a Mei or something, because they just go through you and you kind of rely on killing squishies. You have a hard time dealing with a Reinhardt or a Ram. I feel like she still struggles in a more coordinated environment right now. And in team comps, okay, not team comps, I'm sorry. So if you're playing on Gibraltar or something, on maps with a lot of high ground, she still has a lot of trouble, but she's pretty good against dive. I've had a lot of troubles dealing with her on Winston because I'm pretty sure she can almost out heal my Zap on Winston. So I think Queen is really good right now, and I think Zarya is really good. And Zarya counters Queen, so that also buffs Zarya in general, because Queen is also good. I'm not a yapper. I'm just explaining my points. I could put all of these things everywhere and just call it a day, but I don't, because I want to educate you on my thought process, which might be very wrong, but it is my thought process. And next up, after Queen, we have Orisa, who, mind you, does not headshot with Javelin, and I think she's pretty meh. I've barely seen Orisa. Orisa gets beamed by Zarya. Orisa doesn't do much. Her ult sucks. She's just really tanky, and even that is not really the case anymore. And she doesn't do much. I don't think she's good. I would even put her on bad, to be honest. I don't think she's that good. But I don't think there is a single... I think she is the worst tank, by far. She's meh because other tanks are better. Of course, that's how it works. You compare them to each other. I would even put her on bad. I highly recommend you guys to not play Orisa. I don't think I think I would put Orisa on bad. I'll be honest. I don't think Orisa is a good pick. I don't think you should be playing Orisa in any sense. She doesn't have carry potential. You can obviously carry and win games, but you will be shooting yourself in the leg. And you're just a really tanky guy that you could just play any other tank and do the same thing at this point. So I think Orisa is just bad. And the Javelin thing, you can't headshot, so it's not even a buff, right? So it's whatever. Especially with characters like Zarya being meta, you definitely don't want to play Orisa. Next up, we have Reinhardt. You see, I'm not yapping. Yeah, I think Reinhardt is probably good or great. I don't know. I played against Cloudy yesterday. Won 2 games in a row. Malgo just kind of ate him up, but he did do it with Metro, and Metro was 8 and 12. So I feel like my POV is a little bit skewered. I don't know if he's great. And he also has a skin. Transformer skin. Next to Doom? Maybe. I feel like he's next to Doom. I don't know. I feel like Ryan is good. I don't feel like he's great, though. I might be wrong. Kind of hard to determine. I think Ram still outshines him. So what is the point of playing Ryan? What is the point of playing him? Running around and pinning. He's probably really good in lower elos, but in high elos, you can just play Malga or something and just shoot. That's what I did. I think he's not that good, to be honest. And I feel like you can play Winston in most of the maps. I don't think you can play Ryan most of the maps. No, actually, you can play Ryan in a lot of maps. Ryan is just too comp dependent. If your team isn't playing a Lucio, you're kind of screwed. If you play the correct comp, I think it's great, but otherwise, it's good. Ryan did get some buffs, but I think it's just the wrong buffs. They increase his shield. I think some of the changes they made on the arcade game mode last season, I think those could be really cool changes for Ryan. Like, he gets more speed the less shield he has, or when it breaks. I think it's cool. I think you can do a lot of cool things with him, but they just chose to give him shields. But Cloudy seems happy with Reinhardt. I think if you're Cloudy, S tier easily. I think he's good. I think he's that strong. Mind you, these are very early thoughts of what I think are good or bad changes on Ryan. Not Ryan, or tank in general. Next up, Roadhog. I will do something controversial here. Even though I really hate playing against a good Roadhog, and I think it's super annoying, I don't think Roadhog is a good character. No, I don't think he's good. No, I don't. Like, you have to understand that from my POV, I'm thinking about, like, in general, in higher elos, and especially in pro play, like, Hog never gets picked. In higher elos, he does, but in pro play, he never gets picked. And that's because Hog doesn't add anything to the team. Hog is just a big bullet sponge that might hit a hook. And if your team are all actually have, like, one brain cell combined, you can deal with him. I don't think he's that good. The change to the DPS passive will make him stronger, obviously, but I don't think he's that crazy. Maybe I put him on good, but I feel like putting him on meh. It is just so reliant on you hitting your hook, and if you don't hit your hook, you're useless. I feel like he's way too counterable a lot of the times. Like, Roadhog just relies too much on the enemy team making mistakes. That's about it. Plus, not to mention, you can just play Malga. You can't even kill Malga with your Hoggold. And I haven't seen that many Hogs, to be honest, right now. I think it's either C tier or D tier, but I kind of want to put Hog on D tier. I know Hog is annoying, as I said. I just don't think he's good. Like, a lot of characters could be really annoying. I don't think he's good. I don't think he's good. I think he's really meh. I think he's really meh in pro play. I think he's really meh everywhere. I think he's just a meh character with a meh life. You know what I mean? I know people would disagree, but I feel like in a vacuum he's strong, but in reality he just isn't that. He's just not that strong. I'm not going to explain myself anymore. That's my thought process. Sigma. What they buff on Sigma? Oh, he can one-shot, bro. I think Sigma is S tier. I think like a good Sigma is just like, boom, bam. You pop off. You go crazy. Soon, boom, bam. And I think NA is playing a lot of Sigma. Sigma counters Malga. Sigma deals with Diva. Sigma is a must pick in a lot of maps. Sigma counters Hog. If your team plays Poke, Sigma is just so good. I think Sigma is S tier, but I might be wrong. But I think he's really good. Yeah, I think Sigma is just super good. I think he's S tier. I feel like I might be really stupid, but the meta, I can imagine the meta swapping to like a Who Rolled Hog meta in a week after I say he's bad. Orisa meta. With no damage, utility means nothing. That's not true. Sigma has tons of damage if they get close. So Sigma has a lot of utility, stays alive for a lot of time, especially against Malgas, Orisas, Roadhogs, even Divas, and on certain maps. And he can kill people that get close to him. Like, you need to be really good. But I think it's fair to say Sigma is S tier, which might be really cooked of a take. The only reason why I wouldn't put Sigma in S tier is because Sigma has a rough time against Rush. I've seen people play Rush meta on Sig, so I think he's S tier. I think he's really good. I think he's also decent against Queen. I'll put him in S tier. Ball. Wrecking. Ball. 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 Hammond. Ball. Wrecking Hammond. Ball. Ball. I think if you are a ball player, easily S tier. Like, if you're a Chasm or some other ball one trick, I know the ball one tricks from NA, you can hard carry every single game, and it's not even close. They've kept buffing him. Like, I think ball is insane in the right hands. The reason why that is because too much HP can buff his teammates. His mind's got buffed. A lot of mobility. A lot of tech if you're good at it. They buffed his grappling hook. It's an insane character right now if you know how to use him. Yeah, it's either A or B, but I think it's definitely A. I think even in the hands of like a bad baller, you can still get a lot of value. Next up, Malga is horrible. He's not S tier. Not S tier. You've all been gaslit into believing Malga S tier. Malga is not S tier. We've all been gaslit, including by myself, because I think it was funny, by Twitter and TikTok, that Malga is S tier because he can survive a Hoggold or survive a Bastion. Listen, outside of Coin Creators farming, he's horrible because Diva is so strong. So if they ever go Malga, you go Diva. And Sigma is so strong. And even Zarya can be really good. And Queen can be really good against him because they have such tiny hitboxes. If you just hide from his E that lasts super short now, the uptime is so short, he cannot survive afterwards. Not to mention that if your team has a nade or something, they're just cooked. Cage is easily countered by an EMP if you play Sombra, even though Sombra is bad. And just Malga is so one-dimensional right now. You don't play Malga against like a Doom Ryan or a Hawk, but all of these characters aren't even that good. So I don't think Malga is that strong. I think we've been gaslit into believing that he is really good. Yeah, Matrix duration is basically the same duration as his cardiac overdrive or cardiac arrest. You can literally just munch on him super hard. He can't really do much. You can even bubble him if you really wanted to. Either way, I don't think Malga is that good. I think maybe in lower elos he's better, but still, I don't think he's that good. I think Malga needs to get a fucking job. That's what I think. I'm looking for silly music. Yeah, I don't think you should be believing the lies that Mauga is really OP. I don't think he is. Ramatra! Ram is not S. I think Ram is S. No, he's not B tier. Ram is unkillable bullet sponge that deals damage and his ult insta wins the fight. He has 300 armor that you can keep gaining. Plus KSA came to stream and he said he's just farming every lobby on Ram. I think Ram is just like the good rush tank. L shift into ult is 600 armor pretty much. Yeah, he deals more punch damage, so he breaks, like he can kill some stuff a little bit faster. He has insane survivability right now. Like he's so tanky. I think a lot of people play him wrong in the sense that they try to be too punchy. All you have to do is not die, and that's so easy to do on Ram. And I think he's really good in rush comps. I think you obviously want to play Ram over Rein in a rush comp. I kind of lack understanding on how to play him correctly in a rush comp, but I think he's really good. A lot of the maps are very rush oriented, so you obviously want to play him. But in general, I think like on closed off rush maps, you probably want to play Ram. And then on push maps, you want to play Queen or Zarya. And then on poke maps, you want to play Sig, but you can also play Sig on other maps too. I don't know which tank would be like de facto insta-log every game. Orisa is just horrible. But yeah, I think this guy's S tier. And then Winton on Winton tier. I want a review of Winston. Okay, I'll give you a Winton review, but I think Winton is really strong if you can play him, but a lot of people just can't play Winston. I think if you can play Winston, he's probably like A or S tier, but for a lot of people, he's just great. And I think characters like Queen just really... Characters like Bo, Queen, Ram, depending on the comp, really destroy you. Because also, it's really map dependent. You can't play Winston rush maps. Queen feels really hard to deal with, plus the shout. Like, the self-healing is just so difficult to deal with. Feels like she's impossible to kill. It's just really hard to deal with characters like Ram if their entire team is playing a rush comp. Winston is really strong, don't get me wrong. I think like in pro play, he's probably S tier. Because people just are really good on Winston, especially in Asia. And they just go around and they dive and they create a lot of space. And the primal is buffed now, so it's a lot harder to die. But you need to know what you're doing. And there's some games where you can't do anything. And finally, we have Bob, which I think is easily S tier. Auto aim, a lot of HP, has armor, I think. Always with Ashe. Will carry the fight, will push the payload, will never complain. Uptime a little bit bad, but it's okay. Yeah, what if we do this? Like, what if we move the things here like this? Or is Doom greater? Doomfist, D.Va, Rein, great. Mauga on C tier. Roadhog and Orisa on bad tier. Okay, no. This is my final adjustment. Roadhog, Mauga, C tier. Orisa bad, D.Va, Rein, Doom great. These guys on A tier and then S tier. And if people are unhappy, people think I'm wrong, go into the comment section, tell me how stupid I am. But I think this is a fair tier list. A small adjustments. I can't wait for people to look at my tier list where I put the character at the beginning, type an angry comment about how stupid I am, and not see my final adjustments at the end.